Hello everybody, I wanted to get on here to show you how to make the vowel poem. So the vowel poem is a fun way for you to start learning how to build out a poem. So I'm just going to go through the different steps with you because the poetry tea time that I shared, we didn't get to it. So I wanted to make sure everybody had a chance to give it a try. So this is a super easy way to write a poem, you guys. So what you're gonna first do is you got A, E, I, O, U, and Y, and you're gonna come up with a word for each vowel. So if you look on here, and this came out in your digital package, if you look on here, I've got apple for A, elephant for E, ice cream for I, owl for O, unicorns for U, and yucca for Y. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sit down and you're just going to write down one word for each vowel. The next step is you're going to come up with either a descriptive word or a word that is associated with each of those items. So for me, for apple, I wrote crunch. And I wanted my poem to have some rhyming in it. So then what I did is I looked at my next word. My next word is elephant. So then I wanted to come up with a rhyming word that rhymed with crunch. So I thought about elephants and I thought about how they live in family groups. And I was like, well, that's like a bunch. So I was like, okay, so apple, crunch, elephants, bunch. Then I went to ice cream. And it was really hard for me to think of another one that rhymed with, crunch and bunch. So I decided to change it up, which means that I'm changing my rhyme scheme. Okay, so the first one was A. Now I'm going to go B, B, which means two new type of rhyming words. So with ice cream, then I'm like, oh, well, you lick it with your tongue. So I picked tongue. And then owls. I was like, okay, well, what rhymes with the word tongue? Because there's only so many things. So I picked young. Because I was like, well, owls, they have babies, baby birds, and they're young. And then my next one, so that would be, so crunch and bunch are my A. Tongue and young are my B. So now I'm going to have a C. Okay, two new type of rhyming words. So unicorns, that one was hard. I was thinking of words that would be able to have something that would rhyme with it. And then I thought about how when you learn about unicorns, you actually find out that England has unicorns as part of their shield. And when you go to Europe, you see unicorns like on rugs all the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick rugs. And then Y is yucca. And I think yuccas are ugly plants and half the time they're dying. And so that made me think of the bugs. There's always like bugs climbing around on the dead plants. So I have rugs and bugs. Okay. So let's see here if I can get it in there nice and square. Okay. So you can see there is crunch, bunch, tongue, young, which obviously spelled tongue wrong, and rugs, bugs. Okay? Then the last part you want to do is you want to make the middle of each sentence. So you have apple, and you want it to end with crunch. And you put in a sentence. So the first thing I did is I just made up a sentence that made sense. So I said, apples are yummy. I love when they crunch. And then if you want your poem to actually feel like it sounds good, like it's smooth when you're rhyming, you want to have the same amount of syllables. So, apples are yummy. I love when they crunch. Okay, so that's 10. And the next one, I think I actually had 10, and I think the rest have 9. I don't know how I pulled that off because I think it's because I have a pause in it. So apples are yummy. I love when they crunch. That has 10. Elephants walk along in a bunch. So if you put a little pause in there, the 9 will work. Then ice cream is sweet and feels cold on my tongue. Oh, there's another 10. Owls fly silent and care for their young. Oh, there's another 10. Unicorns can be found on old king rugs. 10. Yucca plants can be home to desert bugs. So there you go. They all had 10 except for elephants walk along in a bunch. So it has that pause there. Elephants walk along in a bunch. So it still feels funny. So I'll read you the whole thing. Ready? Apples are yummy. I love when they crunch. Elephants walk along in a bunch. Ice cream is sweet and feels cold on my tongue. Owls fly silent and care for their young. Unicorns can be found on old king rugs. Yucca plants can be home to desert bugs. So there you go. There is a vowel poem. This one did take me too long. You might have to work on it for a little longer. But I would love to see your vowel poems. So once you finish them, put them up in the Tea with the Poet group. And if you'd like to, you can put it up in the Little Rabbit Trails of Your Poetry Tea Time group so other people can see what awesome poems we're writing. So I hope this helps you write your vowel poem. And I cannot wait to see the poems that you create.